Hello and welcome back to how to use FreeCAD for engineers and engineering students. At least this is a basic tutorial. In the previous video, we learned about creating technical drawings with FreeCAD, simple technical drawings. And in this video, we're going to pick up from there. Even though we are not going to like complete in the sense of it, like creation of technical drawings, but at least from the last video and this video, you should be able to know how to create simple technical drawings with FreeCAD. I want to focus more in this video on technical drawings for circular features, arcs and things like that. So I'm just going to create a simple, very simple circular feature in FreeCAD. So I'm going to create sketch and let me sketch on the XY plane. So I'm doing this from memory, so if you want to follow along, you can just follow along with dimensions that I put in. So let's create a circle and let's make this circle 100 millimeters, and let us put another circle in the middle and let's make that circle 15 millimeters. So let us put another circle on the axis here, right? What I want to do is to have like 4 circles, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So but all of them will pass through like the same like they will be the same distance from the origin here. So basically I create another circle here and let's make that 10, right? So 10 millimeters, and let me dimension the distance. So I hit D on my keyboard and that will give me I want that to be say 40. Okay, so we have 40 millimeters away. And I could create a circle manually by clicking here, clicking here, clicking here, and creating a circle like that. But let me just use the polar array feature. So I will click on the circle here, right? And there is this feature here. Where is it? I think this. So rotate or polar transform. So I will click on it. Like first thing, I click on the circle. Next, I click on the polar array feature, and here is asking me how many copies of the circle do I want. So I actually want 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say apply equal constraint so that all the circles created will be equal. So basically now it is waiting for me to select, like I don't know, like the origin point, I believe, then like where is the center, or where are we going to start the transform from. It already knows that this is going to be a circular transform, so I first clicked on the origin here, and I'm going to click on the center of the circle here as well, and I'm just going to bring it like that. So you see that the 3 circles are going to be created. So that gives me minus 270, and I'm going to be like minus 270, enter. So that makes, like I've finished the transform now and it has created the circles, but you can see that I have 6 degrees of freedom left to define, right? Because all of these circles, like even though they were made as a transform, they are not defined by constraints yet. The only constraint that is there is this equal constraint that makes them equal to the size of this circle here. So I still need to dimension them, like their distance, or give them other constraints that the computer can use to know that okay, this is where the circle is. So I'm firstly going to make this and this. So I'm clicking on both points now. I'm going to make both of them to be horizontal, and this as well to be horizontal. Yes, so I'm going to make this and this to be vertical. Yeah, and I'm not going to set the center between, sorry, in the center between the distance, I mean the distance between the centers of the circle. So I come and click on my dimension tool here, and then I click from here to here, 40. It's already at that distance, but I just need to set it from here to here, 40. And there could be better ways to do this actually, but just for sake of simplicity, from here to here, 40. Okay, so yeah, this is beautiful. as a side note, if I wanted this to like really be a parametric design, I would not set the dimensions one at a time like this. This is what I would do. So let me delete the dimensions just to as a learning exercise for you. So I'm going to delete this, delete this, delete this, and I'm going to create lines. So a line, I'm going to use a line to join this center to this. I'm going to use another line to join this center to this, and I'm going to use another line to join this center to this here. So basically, I believe there's a line there, right? I believe so. I hope so. So basically, I have 3 lines: 1, 2, 3. Now I'm now going to create another line from here to here as well. And if you don't like this line way, just dimension it. That's simple. But I'm just showing you how to create parametric designs. So I'm going to click on that. So simply, I know that this line is already dimensioned to be 40, and I'm going to make all of them construction lines. So I'm going to select all of them, command or control, select, and I'm going to change it to dimension line, construction lines. Then what I want to do is I'll select them again, select all of them. Is there a line here? Is there really a line here? I don't even know. Let me check. I don't think there's a line there because I can't see anything and I can't select anything. Okay, so let me try to draw another line there. So I'm just going to draw from here to here, and I'm going to change that to a construction line. Is there a line there? I don't even know if there's a line there. Let's see. This should show my elements over here. So these are ways to discover, is there a line, is there not a line. I have this line, this line, this line, this line, which is not selecting. Let me delete this. Okay, so let me just believe that there's a line here. Aha, there's a line there. So you see it's selected here. Is there a line here? There's a line there. That's what is selected now, 9. Okay, so I'm going to select this as well, select this and select this, and then I'm going to make them equal. So basically what I have done is that the dimension of this one, which is 40, I have basically extended it to the rest by making all the lines equal. So if I happen to change this to say 30, everything changes. You can see everything changes. If I change this to say 10, everything changes. You can see that. So it makes it easier to like change things in my design maybe later on when I want to adjust things. But this video is not really about sketching, it's about technical drawing. So let me just finish this, and I'm going to extrude it. So we have it at 10 millimeters, and this is a beautiful part. So now to create the technical drawing, you know the drill already. I'm going to go to the Tech Draw workbench, and after going to the Tech Draw workbench, I'm going to just create a new page, blank page. Then I want to insert the view. So but before I insert the view, I'm going to need to select the body, and then I'm going to click on insert view. So it gives me a view here, right? But I don't want this view to be my front view, so I adjust it. Yes, this is what I want to be my front view. And okay, so I adjust this to be my front view, and maybe I want the top view as well. I don't think there's any need for the side view. It's the same. It's like the same thing as the top view. So I won't show it. You may need to show it in your work maybe for some reason, but I won't show it in this. So I'm just going to click on OK, and you would notice something right away which may not be in yours. So there is this center mark here, like this crosshair symbol here, and it may not be in your work. So what you need to do is to go to your preferences. Here for me it's here, preferences. For you it may be in file or edit or something like that, but it's here for me, preferences. And after you go to preferences, you go to your Tech Draw workbench, preferences, and you can see that there are a lot of things there, but I think this should be under, let's see, let's go to scale. It's not under scale. Okay, yes, under scale there is a center mark scale here. So I can increase this, and what increasing this will do is that it will increase the size of that center mark over there, but that's not what I want. I actually want to show it. So let's start from general, scale, dimensions. When you go to dimensions, you see all of these features. Annotations, when you go to annotations, you see this, you see show center marks. So you want to make sure that that is highlighted. You want to make sure that that is highlighted. So if I click on OK, but let me toggle the frame to see if the center marks will actually show when I print it. So the center marks won't show. In this case, the center marks won't show if I print it. Like when I print this document or transform it to PDF, the center marks will not show. So if I want them to show, I will have to go back to preferences, of course go to annotations, then I have to click on print center marks here. So show center marks is different from print center marks. If I show it, it will make it to show up when I'm like maybe doing the dimensions and things like that, but when I print it, it will not show. So I need to do print center marks for that center mark to show, and I don't think that it will work for this. Okay, it actually works. Okay, so sometimes it may not work immediately. Sometimes you may need to delete what you have done already and then do something else, like do another one, like import it again so that it will show, because some of those things don't show on already existing objects that have been imported. So now we have our circular feature and or our circular part, and simple. The dimension is actually quite simple. Go to dimension 2, then click on what you want to dimension. For instance, if I want to dimension the radius or diameter of the circle, I can click on the line or the circumference of the circle. Just click on it, and then that gives me like a diameter symbol, and same with these smaller circles, that gives me like a diameter symbol very easily. That gives me a diameter symbol. So that's just really how it works, right? And what if you don't want this to be a diameter? What if you want it to be a radius? I think there should be a way to convert it, but one of the easiest ways, let's say what you actually want is a radius, is that, let me delete this for instance. You know, this is auto dimension. This automatically just dimensions based on what you select. But if you want it to be specific, like a radius, you can click on this drop down and you can click on insert radius dimension. Oh, it says no part is in selection. So you have to first select the circumference of the circle, then you do an insert radius dimension. So you see that it gives you that, sorry, I'm moving that. So you can see that it gives you that radius of this, of the circle there. And usually for a full circle like this, you usually just need the diameter. You don't really need the radius, so to speak. So let me delete this and reinsert the diameter. So 100, and that's really simply how it works. But now for a circular part like this, you really want the center lines to be there, because that makes sense for engineering drawing. That is what makes sense for engineering drawings. You want the center lines to be there. Per standard, you really want the center line to be there. There should be one that is horizontal here, and then there should be one, okay, horizontal and vertical. So how do you put in those center lines? Okay, so it's quite easy. Some other softwares will give you those center lines directly, but FreeCAD won't. So this is how you do it. You click on the circle that you want. So you click on the circle here, right, the circumference, and then you come to this toolbar here. This says insert or add circle center lines. Your own may not be here, it may be anywhere, but just make sure that you come to the tool that says add circle center lines. So you click on the drop down here, and then you click on add circle center lines, and you see that it adds that center line over there. So right now I can see that the center line that it has added for me, is not actually a standard center line. Like a center line is supposed to be a small dash, then a longer dash, then a small dash, and so on and so forth like that. But this is like just broken lines, so to speak, like hidden details but thicker. So if I want to make it the standard center line, how do I do that? So I can double click on this and I can come to, instead of, you can see that the style of the line is hidden, but instead of hidden, I can look at what fits what I want to do better. So let's see, center, there's actually a center here, and that center is like a short dash, a longer dash, a short dash, a longer dash, and so on. So I can also reduce the thickness, and I'll just press OK. So I usually prefer around that 0.3 thickness and the center line selected, so that gives me a better output. So you can see I'll do the same thing for this as well. So I'll click on center and I'll just reduce the thickness to 0.3 and click OK. So that is basically, let me toggle the frame. So that is basically how you can insert like a center line for this. So what if you want to insert, like you want to dimension the distance from here, from the center here to the center here, but you know that everything is consistent or everything is the same, like it's all 40 millimeters. You can dimension them one by one, right? But it's better to do something like this. So let me show you. So you want to create a center line that goes through all of these circles, and this is how you do that. So you click on this circle here, you hit your command or control, you click on the next circle as well, you click on the next circle as well, you click on the next circle as well to highlight everything, and then you come down here, like you select drop down here, and you do a add bold circle center lines. So that should give you something like that. So it puts a center line that goes through all of the circles as long as they are all on the same circumference. So like always, I'm going to select this and I'm going to change it to center, and I'm going to reduce the thickness to 0.3. So I like it like that. So I can easily now dimension this circle. Instead of dimensioning the distance one by one, I can easily dimension this circle, and that basically gives like the distance of these other circles from the center. So bear in mind that I'm not strictly following the standards here, and I'm just doing this so that you understand. So we have dimension, and you can see I think I've already selected that circle, so I can do something like this. So it tells me that this circle here is at a distance of, is at a diameter of 80 millimeters. So that means that from here to here will be 40, because that will be a radius of 40. So that makes it easy for me to do. And on this part as well, like on this feature, I also need to add a center line that shows that this is a circular feature in actual fact, and that the center line goes through here. So how do I do that? Well, from the last video, I think we added a center line between a face. So that's simply what you do here too. Or you can even select lines. So I can select this line and do a shift, I think, no, actually a control select. So select this, then command or control, and then select this other one too, and I come to this drop down here and I had center line between two lines. So you can see that that gives me this thick line here, which I don't want. So I'll change that to center, and I will reduce the thickness to 0.3, right? So that gives me like a center line that extends. And let's say I want to increase the way it extends across the face. I can easily come to this extend by and increase it so that like there's more of an extension over there. So, and then I can click OK. So that gives me a beautiful center line across that shows that okay, this is also a circular feature, and that these things are symmetric to each other. And I guess that brings me to a reasonable point in this video. So you now understand how to add these center lines here and this center line here. So that is really how you dimension circular features. I think we have covered